Hello, and welcome to the STFM Faculty for Tomorrow Learning Series. This webinar is brought to you by the Graduate Medical Education Committee. Today, we will be sharing the topic, What is Academic Family Medicine? This webinar is intended for students, residents, and fellows considering a career in academic family medicine, or even practicing family physicians considering the transition to becoming faculty. Thank you for your interest and consideration. We will start with a brief introduction. My name is Leigh Morrison. I completed my family medicine residency and academic medicine fellowship at the University of Michigan, followed by a faculty appointment with the Medical School and Department of Family Medicine. There, I served in the role of core faculty, where I delivered didactics, developed curriculum, precepted residents and medical students, and developed my academic work outside the residency, which mostly consists of medical writing and editing and external committee work. Last year, I decided it was a good time to consider a move from Michigan to Ohio to be closer to my family. I'm now in practice at the Cleveland Clinic and rebuilding my academic work.
And my name is Annie Rutter, and I currently serve as the Senior Associate Dean of Academic Administration at Albany Medical College. I completed my family medicine residency at the University of North Carolina at Chapel Hill, after which I moved to upstate New York and joined the faculty at Albany Medical College, where I served as the clerkship director for the family medicine clerkship for over a decade. I also served as the vice chair of academics and was a core residency faculty. I've spent my career working with medical students as well as residents in clinical settings, and looking forward to sharing my experience with you all today.
Thanks, Dr. Rutter. Our objectives today are as follows. We are going to define and describe the spectrum of academic family medicine. We will review strategies for finding support and building your academic portfolio, review the basics and goals of academic scholarship, prioritize your goals and values to find an academic path that fits your career goals as well as your desired work-life balance. And lastly, we will briefly introduce the academic promotion process and the promotion dossier. Let's start broadly. Dr. Rutter, will you introduce us to the spectrum of academic family medicine and how it can look different for different people?
Sure. Academic family medicine is much like the clinical work in family medicine. There are opportunities everywhere. We think about this setting of academic family medicine, and that can take place in a residency program, which may or may not be affiliated with a large university or academic medical center. We think about residency programs that may be in community-based sites that have a university affiliation, or those in community-based sites that are non-affiliated with a university setting. You can also think of academic family medicine as core medical school faculty. These may be folks who have an appointment and a job description that fits with an academic department at a medical school. And then, of course, there's community preceptors. Our community family physicians are some of the most important elements of being a faculty member. They are the ones who really train our medical students and residents to do what we do as family doctors out in the community. One of the things that's really important to think about with academic family medicine, as this spectrum is huge, there's a lot of diversity, there's a lot of opportunities, and even one family medicine academic family physician can change jobs or opportunities in many different settings to think about where they may best fit at different points in their career. And there are jobs available in all of these different settings. So thinking about whether it's a medical school, a residency, or out in the community working with learners, there's definitely opportunities to think about becoming an academic family physician. And so, Dr. Morrison, can you tell us a little bit about the commitment to education and what that means as an academic family physician?
Sure. Being a teacher is core to academic family medicine. There are a number of learners that you might encounter, and these learners vary in their experience as well as their differentiation regarding their future goals. This includes medical students, residents, and fellows. And some of the common educational opportunities include precepting, delivering didactics, facilitating small groups, course direction, curriculum development, clinical simulation, and leadership. Thus far in my career, I've been drawn to the differentiated learner and have spent much of my time in residency and fellowship educational roles. However, there are many benefits to teaching an undifferentiated learner, such as a medical student, and some educators prefer this route. Additionally, as you grow in your career, you'll also encounter your peers as your learner, both in terms of content delivery as well as teaching how to teach. The next consideration for an academic career is a commitment to scholarly work. Another STFM webinar is in production about scholarship in family medicine, but we're still going to give a brief introduction here. Dr. Rutter, will you tell us a little bit about producing scholarship in academic family medicine?
Sure. I think one of the most important things for us to consider is that not all scholarship is the same, but it's really important that we get the voice of family medicine as researchers, as a part of what we do in the clinical setting and in the education setting. So the basis for research can be in many different forms of scholarship. It's extremely important to think about scholarship within our discipline. We are the ones at the front line providing primary care to patients across the country and across the world. And so it's important for us to think about how we best care for those patients. As academic family physicians, we may think about also the scholarship of teaching. And so how do we best deliver content? How do we best make sure that our learners understand the material that we're providing to them? And how do we make sure that everything that we're trying to do as academic family physicians is carried forward to the next generation? The definition of scholarship is extremely broad. And so you can see here, there's a lot of different types of scholarly work. Some of them can be peer reviewed. And so if you look at the column on the left side, this is classic research. This may be your double-blind, placebo-controlled trials. But we can also think about educational research, such as the ones I mentioned earlier, how to best deliver content, what sort of curriculum delivery or content and design we can come up with. Quality improvement, content review, making sure that our materials are accurate, book chapters, curriculum development, clinical care guidelines, innovations in teaching and care delivery, as well as medical editing. And then there's non-peer-reviewed material that can consider things such as narratives, narrative medicine, poems or creative writing, letters to the editor, op-eds, and all sorts of online platforms such as podcasts, blogs, or webinar participation.
There are fellowship opportunities in academic medicine or faculty development like I did. These fellowships are non-ACGME accredited, meaning that in general, you function as a faculty member with protected time for teaching and scholarly work. While this fellowship opportunity was very meaningful to me and my professional goals, I want to tell you that it is not necessary to do a fellowship to practice academic medicine, and you can become faculty without a fellowship. If you do think fellowship is of interest to you, the AAFP provides a national fellowship directory to help you search. Regardless of whether or not you decide to pursue a fellowship, it's important to find support. This can come in many forms, including advisors, mentors, coaches, and sponsors. They may be at your own institution, or maybe someone you know, or have been introduced to at a regional or national level. This relationship with budding educators is one of the parts of academic medicine that I find most rewarding. When considering your future career, it's important that you consider your values and preferences to find the right fit for you as an individual. Dr. Rutter, what do you recommend considering when seeking an academic position?
I think there's lots of things to consider, just as with any job. You want to think about, who are you going to be working with? Who are the people that you're going to spend your time with? Can you partner with them to seek the mission that is important to your institution or to your program? Do they align? Does that make sense for what you're looking for? Location matters. Where in the country do you want to be? Where in the world do you want to be? Is it a rural or an urban setting? All of these can be really meaningful, and it's extremely important that you have a support network around you. And so thinking about location and where you want to be in practice definitely makes sense as you're thinking about the different opportunities. And then I think one of the other things to make sure we're thinking about is your lifestyle, right? So thinking through, what are some of the things that you can balance as an academic family physician? So we talked about a lot of different opportunities in academic family medicine, but you may think that only pieces of those are what makes sense for you and your chosen career path. And so thinking through all of those opportunities are important as you're considering different positions. And so Dr. Morrison, could you tell us a little bit about, after deciding that you want to pursue an academic position, how do you keep track of all those contributions and all those different things that you're doing as you consider and keep track of your career growth?
That's a great question. You can do this by building your academic portfolio. As you're starting out, it's important to track your educational activities, your leadership roles, and your committee service. One of the great things about academic family medicine is that there seem to be infinite opportunities to get involved in teaching, leadership, and service. So you do have some flexibility about what you may want to take on. Each person will have their own path, as we've said, and there is no one size fits all pathway in academia. As you're starting out, I'd categorize opportunities in two ways. So, number one, I'd ask myself, is it interesting to me? And number two is it a good opportunity for growth that will help me advance my career? These two questions can help you prioritize academic work so as not to become overburdened. Dr. Rutter, once you're established in academic medicine, will you give us a brief introduction into the promotion process?
Sure. So we think about promotion in all jobs, things like moving ahead in leadership, career growth, and maybe even salary increase. Academic promotion follows some of those tenets, but really has very discrete titles that we use within the academic venues. And so instructor is usually the first one. This is someone that's a junior faculty member, either brand new to academic medicine because they're switching career paths or very fresh out of residency. And then they move through assistant professor to associate professor, and then eventually to what's called full professor. Moving through these ranks is different at different institutions, but generally we think about things like contributions in scholarly work, contributions in education, contributions in clinical work, and contributions in service. And then tenure is it's a concept that really is talking about particular pathways at some academic institutions. Tenure is often associated with extremely successful academic growth, as well as job security that comes along with that. And so when we think about building your promotion dossier, this is putting together, a lot of people call this their promotion packet. What is this group of documents that we keep together, sort of thinking about your academic portfolio that Dr. Morrison, you already mentioned, but really thinking about your CV, a personal statement. Why are you in academics? What is your path within academics? What has your experience been? And then a portfolio. And this includes examples of your teaching, your clinical activity, your scholarships, such as papers, manuscripts, blog posts, or other scholarship we mentioned earlier in the webinar, or service. And service is not necessarily community service, although that could be, but it's really service to the profession. So these may be regional or national committees that you're a part of, or other things sort of outside of the classroom or outside of the clinic that you participate in. And then letters of recommendations from peers and colleagues across the country are also an extremely important part of the promotion dossier. And STFM can help you with this. And so STFM played a pivotal role in my career. When I was a very junior faculty member, it was an opportunity for me to connect with the resources they had put together. I was also able to participate meaningfully in different task forces, including the Preceptor Expansion Initiative, as well as the National Clerkship Curriculum. I served on the Medical Student Education Committee for many years and was able to be the Medical Student Education Committee representative to the board. And so my opportunities within STFM really allowed me to make connections and grow and learn a lot about what it was like to live in the world of academic family medicine outside of my own little home in upstate New York.
I will say that the same is true for me. STFM has heavily contributed to my academic career. It's been a great source of support and opportunity for me in my academic journey. Specifically, I participated in the Faculty for Tomorrow resident workshop when I was a resident in 2017. And now, as a member of the Graduate Medical Education Committee, this is a workshop that I get to help facilitate every year. I've met so many wonderful family physicians. It's really opened the door for collaboration across the country. And I would encourage all of you watching to take a look at the resources that we've listed here, or you can go to the website and see the opportunities that may be a good fit for you. And this brings us to the end of the webinar. We appreciate your time and your interest in academic family medicine, and we hope to see you in the ranks sometime soon.